What's going on, everybody? Big deal here. Now, Pearl Abyss dropped another great update for Crimson Desert. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this update. And as always, I'm going to do a brief summary in the beginning, kind of show you the most important things with the update. And then I'm going to get into the patch notes and read them line for line and go through every one. But you will at least get the important stuff out of the way in the beginning, so you don't have to watch the whole video if you don't want to. But if you do, it helps me a lot, so I appreciate that. But without further ado, let's get into it. All right, now the first big thing that was added in this patch is the ability to rematch bosses that you have already fought. Now, in order to do this, you just go to the location where you fought the boss originally, hold up your lantern, and it will trigger the boss fight. Now, if you can't remember where a boss is and you want to fight him, all you have to do is open up your settings, navigate to the Knowledge tab, scroll all the way down to Memory Fragments, and there's a section there called Bosses. Now, once you pick this, you just select whatever boss you want and it shows you the exact location. Now, once you're at that location, you just hold up your lantern, it'll start loading, and you're gonna get two options. Reminisce, and this option is you fight the boss exactly as they were when you first encountered them, and then Resonate. Resonate will bring the boss's stats up to the scale that you're currently at. So if the boss was a lot weaker, it gives you a little bit harder version of them, kind of puts you on an equal playing field. So that's pretty cool. Now, one thing to note, in these rematches, any consumables you use will be restored after the match is over. So you don't have to worry about wasting food or anything. Now, there is a note that no separate loot can be attained, but they said, please note that this may change through future updates. So I got a feeling they're gonna add different loot for harder versions of the fight. It looks like they're thinking about it at least. But yeah, this is pretty exciting. Let me know what you guys think about this one. All right, next up, they added the Reblockade feature. And what this does is any stronghold that you cleared, it allows the enemy to take it back over. So once you kind of get to the end of the game, you can have some more things to do and more things to fight. Now, for the Reblockade, it says it will recur at a set probability for strongholds that meet specific time and condition requirements. Reblockades are applied after a loading screen occurs, such as after saving and loading or sleeping in a bed. Now, there's 3 different modes, and if you go into your settings, then go into gameplay, you're gonna see in the Reblockade frequency, there's stable, and stable just means that no reblockade will occur at all. There is the conflict setting, which is the default setting, and this means reblockade will occur intermittently. Then there's the war setting, and the war setting, this will cause reblockade to occur a lot more frequently. Now, during the reblockade, 13 different factions will carry out reblockades across 23 forts and quarries. They plan to gradually increase this over time. They also plan to improve the overall liberation system. So more changes to come to this in the future, but it's pretty cool. We get to refight things again. All right, the next thing of note, they added new legendary animals that can be kept as pets. They have the Iron Eagle and the Macaw Bird. And it says both of these appear upon meeting certain conditions. Now, I did some quick research for you, and the Iron Eagle is just north of Delicia, the A, specifically right here on the map. Now, once you come here, you're gonna see this mechanical kind of eagle. And what you have to do is you have to come over to the mechanism, and at exactly 5 a.m. in the morning, there's gonna be a button here that you can operate. Once you do, you'll get a cutscene, the eagle will fly away. And then what you're gonna need to do, you're gonna have to go into your items and use your Satay of Bond, kind of place it down here. Now, the clue tells you it likes something silver, so you're gonna need mercury. And you're gonna need at least 20 pieces of mercury. So once you put 20 pieces of mercury in there, the bird will come down, it'll eat them, and then eventually you'll be able to take it. And it will be your new legendary companion. Now, for the Macaw Bird, you're gonna wanna come to this location on the map, marked with the X, and you're gonna do the same thing with your Satay of Bond. You're gonna put it down, but instead of using mercury here, you're gonna use desert melons. Now put a bunch of desert melons in here, the bird will come down, it'll eat them up, it'll gain trust, and you can go ahead and take it. I didn't actually do these yet, so I don't have the footage of doing it. I was kind of in a rush when I made this video, but that's basically all you have to do. All right, and finally, as far as content goes, they added a new creature, the mountain god boar. and it says the mountain god boar appears upon meeting certain conditions. Now, I can tell you this is tied to the main story quest, and you have to get past the point where you liberated Payloon. Then from there, you're going to find a lumberjack's witness report kind of on a pole like a bounty, and this is going to lead you to a location where you have to chop down a bunch of trees, and then he'll appear, and then you can fight him. If you're at that point, I'm sure there's plenty of videos out there. You can look up the exact guide, but that's pretty much everything as far as notable like content that was added. But if you want to stick around, I'm going to finish and I'm going to go through everything else in this patch and hopefully finish it in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Everyone who stuck around this far, appreciate it. Now let's get into the rest of the notes. All right, now picking up right where we left off, we are still in the content section. Now they added a new shop that sells disguise items. I didn't find this yet, so I'm not sure exactly where it is. They added new items to shops, and to prevent spoilers, they hid this. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys what it is, but if you come to the patch notes, and it's something you guys may want to know, and I can tell you it's tied to the Thunder armor. So if you're looking for all the pieces of the Thunder armor set, go ahead and hit that and you'll learn how to get it. Now they improved interaction with gold bars placed throughout the world that were previously unobtainable. Picking them up now yields a crude gold bar worth 5 silver. Now, a lot of people was complaining about these gold bars everywhere, can't pick them up. Now you can, they're just not worth as much. They added a new location to obtain the pumpkin head near the pumpkin patches, added carry, lower, and pet interactions for goose and duck pets. They fixed an issue where housing items automatically retrieved due to camp expansion were not displayed in the housing installable UI. They improved crop harvesting in the garden so that you can consistently receive a minimum of 2 crops regardless of fertilizer or water supply. They improved the visibility of hints in certain puzzles. They improved the ruins puzzle at the lake near Coranzo so that progress is maintained even after saving and loading or leaving the area. They improved the mission dispatch to automatically cancel if missions can no longer be sustained. They improved embed abyss gear and create socket functions to support locked items. They improved the highlight effect when dyeing outfits to make the dyeable parts clearer. Move the Abyss Nexus near Zargon Tank Works, where the Research Institute is located, to the top of the cliff. If you have already activated this Abyss Nexus, it will remain active after relocation. Improve the graphics quality of certain animals. Fixed an issue where a comrade's trust would reset to 10 under certain conditions. Fixed an issue where certain livestock could not be sold or butchered. Fixed an issue where comrade's status would display as in progress even when they are not on a mission. Fixed an issue where certain knowledge could not be acquired. They fixed several issues regarding specific bosses to prevent spoilers. Details on this have been hidden, so come check it out if you want to see it. Fixed revolving doors in certain puzzles reacting to force palm. Fixed an issue where the Tesla coil item would get stuck in the air under certain conditions. They fixed an issue in the home decoration mode where moving an object placed on top would also move the object underneath it. They fixed an issue where the drill and chainsaw items could not be equipped in safe zones. They fixed an issue where legendary mounts would die immediately upon being summoned under certain conditions. All right, next we have combat and action. They applied bug fixes and improvements regarding specific bosses to prevent spoilers. Details are hidden. They fixed an issue where bosses would occasionally not enter a staggered state. Fixed an issue where certain bosses would not take damage from bows and ranged attacks while staggered. Fixed an issue where bosses would endlessly repeat evade animations under certain conditions. Increased the damage reduction rate applied upon a successful guard for all weapon types. Reduced the character's travel distance when using the force current skill. Fixed an issue where repeatedly pressing the input for escape would not free the character from immobility when affected with the freeze status effect. Fixed an issue where comboing into the evasive shot skill while casting charge shot did not work properly. Fixed an issue where focused charge shot could be used even if the skill hadn't been learned. Fixed an issue where Axion force would not activate properly when aiming while the character is falling. Fixed an issue where using healing force palm on specific objects would cause the dazed status effect to the player. Fixed an issue where monsters near the Spire of Frost would take cold damage. Fixed an issue where characters would not perform a falling animation when jumping from high places under certain conditions. Fixed an issue where the weapon looked unnatural when using the weapon throw skill under certain conditions. Fixed an issue where certain attacks from walker monsters dealt excessive damage. Fixed an issue where the vision was worn while holding a weapon under certain conditions. Fixed an issue where the weapon's appearance wouldn't return if the character was swapped after a weapon throw. Fixed an issue where the weapon would occasionally bounce in midair when the Crow's Pursuit Abyss gear was equipped. Fixed an issue where stamina wasn't consumed during fights under certain conditions. Improved the appearance of hostile Marnie's mech monsters. Fixed an issue where destructible objects occasionally didn't break when hit by projectiles at a distance. Fixed an issue where the character would bounce unnaturally when falling into a shallow river. Improve interactions on certain merchant NPCs to include tackle and carry. For Damien, they fixed an issue where enemies right next to the character would not take damage when using piercing light with a great sword. For Damien and Anka, fixed an issue where the characters would automatically recover upon receiving fatal damage. Alright, next up we have controls. Fixed an issue where controller, keyboard, and mouse presets would reset. Fixed an issue where the vault skill did not trigger consistently. Pressing the jump key once during an attack would execute a standard vault. Pressing the jump key again during its activation will execute a double jump leaping off the enemy. Separated the interaction keys for sit and lean on terrain and objects. Fixed an issue where the third hit of Force Palm would occasionally activate without additional key inputs after the second hit. For Damien and Anka, they improved the control responsiveness after using the throw skill. They fixed an issue where some key inputs were delayed during cutscenes. For keyboard and mouse, they fixed an issue where changing quick slot tabs didn't work near interactable targets. Fixed an issue in certain water terrains where repeatedly starting and stopping swimming would lock the player's controls. Fixed an issue where certain controls were disabled at the start of an unarmed duel. Next up, UI fixes and improvements. Fixed an issue where the displayed chapter name during an autosave or manual save did not match the actual ongoing chapter. Please accept our sincere apologies and note that save files displaying an incorrect chapter name will only be updated to the correct chapter name after being manually saved again. Improve the skill menu to directly open the skill screen for the character currently being played. Improve the UI on the Abyss map to intuitively display teleport paths. If a specific object is discovered and registered in journal notifications, you can now select that notification to check its location on the map. Improve the mini-map to display owned pets when in the Gray Main camp. Improve sell and gift list to gray out locked items. Added the cancel key guide to appear during eavesdropping. Improve the save menu to display the autosave slot. Added the feature to delete save data from the load menu. This feature cannot be used when the load menu is accessed from the main menu. Fixed an issue where the owned quantity of an item displayed in the bottom right of the inventory was abnormal. Fixed an issue where the displayed owned currency differed from the actual amount while loading a save. For keyboard and mouse, they fixed an issue where the key guides during home decoration looked unnatural. Improved the mouse selection for inventory category tabs. Fixed an issue where the quick menu list remained open if playing a memory fragment failed. Fixed an issue where other tabs could not be selected after scrolling down in map details. Fixed an issue where the preview all feature was unusable in the Pets Tailor shop menu. Fixed an issue where the Storm Talon Ridge Watchtower still showed a blockade on the map even after being liberated. Next up, graphics and settings. With the implementation of NVIDIA's Streamline SDK 2.11.1, the dynamic multi-frame generation option has been added under settings. Go to video and GeForce RTX 50 series exclusive. For PS5 and Xbox, they added a sharpness enhancement option under settings and video. For Mac, they fixed rendering errors. They improved rain falling from eaves to look more natural. they fixed an issue where appearance of the bow and quiver looked unnatural under certain conditions, improved guides displayed in full screen so they can be reviewed in menu, journal, notifications. Now for stability and gameplay, they fixed crashing issues that occurred when configuring options in certain environments, improved overall stability, and fixed several crashes across PC, Mac, and console. For localization, they fixed various localization errors and improvements for localization quality across all languages. Finally, we have the other section, and this is very long for some reason. They fixed an issue where the Golden Fire reward was not granted after defeating Golden Star, improved the sound of footsteps, improved the sound effects when walking on grass, improved the audibility of certain lines during the quest, Trials of Kindness, improved lines of certain cutscenes, improved certain NPC lines, fixed an issue where aerial maneuver would not activate after using Axiom Force on Karanda, fixed an issue where at times sounds would fail to play when putting down an uprooted tree, improved the earrings equipped on the character to move more natural, fixed an issue where certain outfits would appear unnatural, fixed an issue where characters would shake unnaturally when Cliff was positioned at a certain spot during Chapter 1, fixed unnatural target movement when using a lantern, fixed the issue where Cliff's posture would appear awkward in the beginning of a cutscene while using blinding flash, improved the motions for the memory fragment lair of animal thieves, fixed an issue where the game would crash when selecting an item of max refinement level from the refinement screen, fixed an issue where the game would be unplayable when loading save data when death has found the character, fixed an issue where the title screen would display when purchasing 2 horses at the stable, fixed an issue where at times the character couldn't ride the Icicle Edge Alpine Ibex. For Cliff, they fixed an issue where the character's movement would appear awkward in certain outfits. For Damien, they improved the character's movement to be more natural. They fixed an issue where the character would temporarily move up and down in preview mode at a barber or tailor shop. Fixed an issue where the character's cloak would vanish while using Axiom Force. Fixed an issue where performing a heavy attack with the laser cannon spear and cuckoo laser cannon spear would pierce through enemies. For Damien and Anka, they changed the skill description of double jump, fixed an issue where the character would spawn at an abnormal location when escaping from certain terrain. Now for Anka himself, they fixed an issue where certain hairstyles would appear awkward. Then they fixed an issue where equipment that shouldn't display would show during duo. Additionally, they fixed an issue where the outfit of certain monsters would appear awkward, where at times the previously equipped weapon would disappear when equipped in a weapon, where the weapon's appearance would vanish under certain conditions. Also fixed an issue where certain NPCs would look unnatural, changed the appearance of some packs, fixed an issue where the appearance would abnormally overlap with equipping certain cloaks for two-handed swords, fixed an issue where the character couldn't catch creatures storable in the inventory such as insects, mammals, and rodents while sitting, improved the open-close interaction button for windows to appear more quickly when climbing walls, improved the die to be more natural for the Blackwing mask, fixed an issue where the cancel button wouldn't work properly when searching the difficulty at the start of the game, fixed an issue where an unequipped equipment would display from the refinement equipped menu, fixed an issue where at times failing to cheat at a minigame in certain regions would either not teleport the character to the constabulary or move the character to the constabulary in another region. Fixed an issue where the character couldn't play duo when transferring to prison from committing a crime during an archery contest. Fixed an issue where the Comrade wouldn't return after being dispatched on a mission to Alzerian Manor. Improved Comrades to return properly after completing a mission in progress. Fixed an issue where at times items wouldn't display properly. Fixed an issue where the examine screen wouldn't close underwater when the mount dies while using the examine option while on the mount. Fixed an issue where you couldn't change the material when dyeing certain items. Fixed an issue where Cliff as a Comrade wouldn't stay dead when using the load option after being critically wounded. Fixed an issue where the striped marlin on the character's back would either disappear or fall to the ground when using a shop. Fixed an issue where the part of the A tag that couldn't be dyed would appear in the dye menu. Fixed an issue where the camera would move awkwardly when controlling a strongbox. Fixed an issue where the sky bridge alignment device couldn't be grabbed with axiom force. Fixed an issue where the character would keep rotating automatically when entering the dye or customization menu. Fixed an issue where the dye wouldn't apply to headgear and cloak with the display headgear option. Fixed an issue where the headgear would appear abnormal while discarding certain headgear. Fixed an issue where certain displayed knowledge wouldn't match the actual name. Fixed an issue where the turbine breaker would reset after liberating Marnie's drilling rig. Fixed an issue where enemies in the area wouldn't disappear after purifying the Sanctum of Penitence. Fixed an issue where geese would abnormally appear underwater. Fixed an issue where certain NPCs would place in awkward spots in Payloon. Fixed an issue where you couldn't interact with gimmicks due to a cow being in the same spot. Fixed an issue where the character could climb up to the top of the door or gate. Fixed an issue where the character could climb up to the top of the Satay of Bonds. Fixed an issue where animals would die because of abyss gear in certain areas. Fixed various other in-game issues. Wow, that was a ton of updates, and this video went on a lot longer than I thought it would. So if you're still here, I appreciate it. Highly doubt any of you are, but hit that subscribe button if you are. But anyway, look forward for my puzzle guides coming out soon, and I'll catch you on the next one.